Hello, guys. I'm back with following Fariza podcast. Oh my god, I haven't recorded an episode for a while, for several months, I think since August, and now it's December. So yeah, whole autumn without a new episode. Um, yeah, a lot of things changed since August, guys. I've been doing a lot. Basically, I've been very busy. Um, oh my god, my nose. I need to scratch my nose. I don't want it to be in the episode. Anyway, um, I had very interesting, exciting several months. I've been quite busy. I moved flats, by the way. So I used to live in Canary Wharf, and now I moved west to the West London. And basically, living in East London, living in the West London is like two different lifestyles. Like West is so much calmer and quieter, and there are a lot of families here, and I wasn't used to that, to be honest. And now we have like sweet neighbors who gives us like Christmas cards, and it was the first year in my like I've been in London for what, for almost 8 years, 7 8 years. I never ever gave anyone a Christmas card. Can you imagine? Like I don't really celebrate Christmas. Like usually I go home for Christmas and like New Year time in Kazakhstan. Like you celebrate New Year and like Christmas. Like oh, you just remember that it's Christmas because most of Christians who live in Kazakhstan, they're Orthodox Christians. So if we celebrate Christmas, it's probably like we're gonna celebrate with like our friends who are Orthodox Christians, but not on the 25th. So I don't think I've ever been in London on 25th before. Um, yeah, and I would always forget to like say Merry Christmas to my friends. But like this year, we got a card from our neighbors, like very sweet card, and I also gave them a card and like some sweets, and I feel so nice. I feel like a nice person, a good neighbor. Um, Also now we live like in sort of like Victorian townhouse, and the walls and the floors are so thin that you can basically hear everything. So literally the first week when we moved in, like I was so scared. I was so scared because I hear everything, and I was literally scared that someone is like in my apartment, because like our apartment is quite spacious right now. So I was like, oh my god. And like I live on the second floor and we have the first floor, and sometimes I was like scared to go on the first floor when I was alone, because like I know that I'm alone right now in my apartment, so what am I hearing? But now I kind of used to that, thank God. But yeah, I think like a couple of times I had to I had to message my friends to say like I'm so scared. I think that someone is here. I'm gonna have a panic. Like oh gosh, funny memories. Anyway, I moved. I don't know who is listening to this podcast at this point, but if you, I know that some people like regularly watch, so it's an update for you. So I moved to West London. It was a hassle to find a flat in, like, to move in, because without going into details, it was sort of like a quick decision for us. For me, like I live with my brother, so it was a quick decision for us to move, and I was mainly responsible for finding us a new flat. And oh my god, apparently it's so hard. Like I've never done it by myself before. So basically, when I first moved to London, I only lived in student dorms. So like whatever dorm would be like the closest to my uni, that would be where I would live. And then during the lockdown, I moved in with my brother. So he would always be the one who would like look for the flats, check the agencies. Um, what else? Like negotiate the price, talk to the landlords, etc., etc. And I would just like move in, and I would just say like if I like it or not, basically. That's it. I didn't have to do anything else. That was it. But this time, because my brother was busier than I was, so it was on me to find like an apartment. And I realized that I didn't even know where like people live in London. Like I didn't know where residential areas are. I only knew like the central London and like Canary Wharf and City, and that's it. Like I knew nothing about the other areas and like where normal people live. It sounds bad, but that's the truth, okay? So I didn't know where like families live, for example, where children live. Because I literally never saw them in London. I only saw like corporate people or like students. Yeah. So it either would be students or corporate people, and I didn't know where like people with families and dogs live, and like the safe areas, etc., etc. So I got almost scammed several times. Oh my god, like I was so naive. Like as a single girl, I would just go to like random flat viewings, sometimes in very shady areas. I didn't even realize that they were shady. And luckily, luckily, like I got in touch with my friend who works in property, and he just educated me on all London areas and where a single female is supposed to live and where she's not supposed to live. Guys, I was almost scammed basically. So I found this flat on spare room, which was weird. Like it was a full flat on spare room in Putney, way below the market price. Two bedroom flat, which looks super spacious, and the lady, her name was Mary. Now I know that it's the most popular scammer name. Like obviously her name was Mary, right? I was like, oh, Mary, lovely name. uh, and weirdly enough, she was letting like privately, so not through an agency. And I was really willing, like I was really, gosh, I was so naive. I was really willing to like get this flat, but my common, thanks God for my common sense, like just in case, because I was a bit confused, like why she's renting it privately, right? Why not through the agency? So I messaged my friend who worked in property and asked, like, is it normal thing? And he said that basically, apparently, you can check the owners like on the government website. Like, if you know the full address, you can check who are the owners. And I did that, and apparently, this flat was non-existent. There was no flat for such affordable price in Putney. Um, with a landlord called Mary, and like their previous tenant lived there for apparently 18 years, and she was like a nice woman who went back to Eastern Europe. Um, and you know what? This lady Mary, she's never in London because apparently, like, her husband has health problems and they are living outside of London, like, so you cannot meet them. Um, and like now when I'm talking about that, it's so weird, right? But I was so naive. I thought it was okay. I was like literally willing to go to see the flat still even when I found out that it's basically non-existent. And the other weird thing happened. So yeah, I met my friend and we checked together that this flat is basically a scam. Like there is no such. There is. I think there was no a building like the way she showed it in the address, right? Um, and I think the last how it's called last straw when I finally, so mind you, I was so naive that even after everything, I was still willing to go and check the flat just in case. But the last straw happened when basically I was talking to this Mary lady through texting. I think she didn't have like she didn't even have a WhatsApp, and I thought, oh, it's okay, I guess. Like she's just an old lady. Um, so basically, we agreed that I'm coming. So she told me that she's in London only on Mondays and Wednesdays, right? Because apparently, like her husband was supposed to be like sick, like so she would spend most of the weeks there with him. Um, and we agreed that I'm gonna come on Wednesday, like after work hours, so about like 6ish, 6:30, I think. But and she was like, yeah, okay, because it was either Monday or Wednesday. So I was like, yeah, I'm coming on Wednesday. But I mentioned to her on Monday, so we had a call, and I mentioned to her that I'm coming with my brother. I think you would like to meet him as well because we're gonna rent it together, right? She was like, okay, sure, of course, that would be lovely. So next day, on Tuesday, Mary is texting me that, oh, you know what? Unfortunately, my plans changed, so I won't be able to be here on Wednesday, but I'm gonna be here on Friday at 10 a.m. Like, that's the only time this week where I'm gonna be in London. Will you come? And mind you, she was aware that I was like more flexible with my hours, but my brother was not. He was working full time, so she knew that um, he won't be able to come. So I would come by myself. So like looking, but I didn't realize it at the moment. Okay, so like now looking back, I realized, oh my god, like I would go there alone, and where would I go? To a non-existent apartment by myself with like my documents because she asked me to bring my passport. I'm like, guys, what, what am I talking about? Oh my god. Anyway, so I'm discussing it with my friend, and he's like, Fariza, you're not going, right? And I'm like, I still kind of want to go. And he was like, okay, I can go with you because it's scary. And he works in property, right? So he would be able to like negotiate and stuff. So like, cool, we are going together. So on Friday morning, I call my mom and I explain it to her what's going on, where I'm supposed to go. She was like, are you okay? Are you in the right mind? No, like just cancel this meeting, block this woman and don't go there. Like, are you crazy? Like, obviously not. Just stay home and like look for another flat. I'm like, okay, yeah, I guess you're right. So I'm doing that and I'm texting my friend. You know what? I thought about that again, and um, I think you're right, and I'm not gonna go. And he texts me. You know what? I'm very glad that you made this decision. You know, I thought that would be the right thing to do, but I didn't want to push you, right? Like, ultimately, it would be your decision, and I wanted to support you, whatever. And I'm like, yeah, thank you. And I didn't have the heart to tell him that I was still going to go. It's my mom who told me not to go. It wasn't like even my common sense, you know? It was my mom's common sense, and like, thank God, thanks to my parents and my mom for being the voice of reason in my life sometimes. And you know what? And like after that, my mom would call me and text me like, "Oh my God, like I found out that it's actually a common scheme to like kidnap women." Like, oh my God, you could literally be kidnapped. I was like, "Oh my God, like don't say that to me, like please God." So yeah, luckily I avoided those situations, and I was in weird places, and I didn't even know. yeah, as I told you, like I didn't even know which areas are good, which areas are bad. Like I would just go for the price. And yeah, basically now I know London so well. I finally know where North London is, where West London is, where like is I literally didn't know directions, guys. Like I didn't know where North and West and East, like I was okay living without that, just using Google Maps. And but now I literally know, right? And which is like which is a residential area, where are the good parks, where are the good commute, where are all the tube stations, etc., etc. So now I literally can work. Sorry, like why my nose is like itchy. I literally can work, I think, in property industry and become a realtor as a side hustle. But yeah, anyway, it was a random introduction to what I've been busy with. So yes, I started to look for a flat basically after recording my last podcast with Holly. Oh, actually, yeah. So Holly was supposed to be on this episode, um, but so we wanted to record like a Christmas special and like to be in nice Christmas pajamas and to tell you all the lessons that we learned in 2023 and like our New Year resolutions for 2024. Um, but Holly got sick, so I was supposed to go to Kent. I've never been to Kent. It was supposed to be a lovely like a sleepover party, but yeah, she got sick unfortunately, and now I'm recording by myself. And yeah, I realized that I haven't recorded a solo episode for a while. So I think initially when I just created this podcast, I wanted it to be about my life and like what's going on. But then I kind of started to invite my friends and people, and it was really fun to like do like interview or like discussion style. Um, but now, you know what, I realized that I just wanna sit down and talk to you about what has been going on, what I've been up to, what are my feelings, what are my learnings, what are my lessons, like where I am at life right now. Guys, so many things change, like you cannot understand, and I can't even tell you everything because like I don't wanna tell about everything until some things are resolved. But nevertheless, I can tell you some things. And I guess I just want to tell about the experiences that I had this year. And I feel like this was like one hell of a year. Like it was amazing, but also crazy, and also like so happy, but also so painful. And like it was just a roller coaster of experiences and emotions. And I don't know, like I think now like it's last week of December and New Year is coming, and like I just finished working on something last week, something I was working very intensely on, and basically I'm staying in London for New Year and Christmas, and I have a call every day with my parents because like my brother had to go, like not had to go, like, he wanted to go to back to Kazakhstan for New Year's, so I call my parents every day, like because I'm kind of alone by myself, um, and every day, like for the past week, I'm like, "Hi, what a year has been." I'm like, "Oh my God." I'm like when I look back, it just I'm out of words, you know? Like I just want to say what a year. What a year. It was such an interesting year. Like interesting is the only word that I can use to describe this year, guys. But yeah, mm, let me start, I guess, from the start, from the point zero. So you remember, I think my first episode this on this podcast was about Fashion Week, I think, and how I got invited, and how you should go for things by yourself. So I think it really defines. Okay. Actually, let's rewind because before Fashion Week, okay, okay. I don't have a script. I don't even have points. Like I have some. lessons, like points on my laptop here, but I'm not really following them. So I just wanna tell you about like what happened this year and like my experiences, like more from like emotional side. And I'm gonna go like step by step, okay? And if you're interested, you're interested. If you don't care, like you don't care, whatever. Like I'm gonna have this video for my memories at least. Um, so last year, right before New Year, I went back home to Kazakhstan, and I graduated in 2021 with my master's, and I've been working for a year. Like I started to work like 2 weeks after I graduated. Like I submitted my last paper, and I got a really great job. And 2 weeks later, I started to work, and basically like it was a non-stop, right? Because we were studying and working during my master's degree like throughout this whole time. And then in August I had to move back to London because I've been living in Reading, and at the same time I was writing my master's thesis. And once I submitted it, like 2 weeks later, I started to work. It was my first day, 3rd of September 2021. So it was an intense year. um, and I settled in my new life and everything, but I guess something felt off, and I was exhausted, and I was just I just felt this urge for a change in my life, and I didn't know how it would manifest itself. Um, I was just in this weird state where it was like suffocating, I guess. And I don't know, I think usually I'm very good at like hiding my feeling. I don't think anyone knew about that. Or maybe people knew, but like they wouldn't inquire. But I just felt really weird, and I just knew that I needed change. And I'm kind of person like I know when I need a change. Like I have this intuition, like inner feeling, when I just wanna like make a big leap, or like turn my life in a different direction. It's already happened before. Um, in different scenarios, but basically last year, right before New Year, I came back home to Kazakhstan, and I was like, I just need something to change this year, right? So what I did is I got a pixie cut. Obviously, like when you need a change, you get a pixie cut, right? And it was funny because it wasn't the first year when I wanted, like, or had ideas to get a pixie cut. Basically, I think I was like playing with this idea for 2 years or something. And every time I always go to hairdresser in Kazakhstan. I never went to a hair salon here in the UK. Um, and and usually when I'm about to go to hair salon, uh, I talk to my mom like which hairstyle should I do, and I was thinking should I do a pixie, and my mom was like, are you mad, like are you crazy, like chill, right, like just do a normal cut. And I've always had like very long hair, um and I guess the shortest I went was like that, but never a pixie. But last year I was about to go to my hairdresser, hairstylist, and I was thinking whether to do like just normal layers. But I started to go to Pinterest, and I was just so obsessed with those pixie cuts, like Zoe Kravitz kind of style. Um, and I was like, no, but I'm gonna do layers. Like, pixie is too much, like I can't. And then next day in the morning, because I had a morning appointment, like I'm I'm near the door, and I'm saying to my mom, should I do a pixie? And my mom looks at me and like, you know what? You should. And I'm like, what? Why are you agreeing with that? You're like, I'm gonna do that, right? I'm gonna do that. She's like, yeah, I mean, like, you already cut your hair. She was like, you know what she said? She's funny. She said, when you had like very long hair, I would say don't. But like, now you don't have like, cause my hair was like that probably. She was like, yeah, they're already kind of short. And this lens is short for my mom, okay? So she was like, yeah, they're already kind of short. So if you're gonna cut them, you might as well like cut them properly, like cut all of those. Get a pixie, and then it's gonna be fun because like if you cut them just a little bit, you will not see the change. But if you get a pixie, you will see like a big change, and it's gonna be amazing and cool. And then it's gonna be fun because you're gonna go through all the stages of your hair, and like you can experiment with different styles. And she was like, "Yeah, like go for it. Like why not?" And I'm like, "Okay, thank you for your blessing. I'm gonna do that." So I got a pixie cut, and honestly, it was shocking. Like I was in bit in shock, and I was just like, honestly, it was stressful. Like I remember I was in a taxi on my way back home, and like I was so scared to look at myself in the like even on iPhone camera. And then when I came back, like I think for the first week, when I look at myself in the mirror, I kind of felt sick. Like I felt dizzy because I'm like, oh my god, I don't recognize myself, you know? And then every time I go to shower, I take, like, I touch my hair and, like, I don't feel the hair. It was such a weird feeling. Um, yeah, and then I didn't know how to style. Like, for the first couple of days, not a couple of days, I think for the first months almost, I didn't know how to style my hair, so I wasn't fully satisfied. But then something started to change, and I don't know, like, cutting your hair, changing your appearance is like it's make like it does something with your sense of self and sense of identity because you literally look in the mirror and you see another person. Like it's not you anymore. Like and because it's not you, you kind of can behave in a different way. You kind of make different choices. You kind of start talking in a different way because it's like, yeah, I'm a different person now. So all the people who laugh at the fact um, that changing your hair like after a breakup or like big life events is like a weird thing. No, like it literally can change your life or like whatever you change your hair or like your style. You know how like they say when you're trying to manifest something, it's not enough. Like when you're trying to manifest something like a new life or like new opportunity where you wanna achieve something, the first thing that you should do is not the it's not the vision board, it's not the visualization, like all those things like they will not work until you actually step into another identity, right? So if you really want to achieve something, you have to adopt the identity of the person who kind of already have it, right? So if you want to be a cool girl, before other people will think that you're a cool girl, you have to start behaving as a cool girl. Have to like feel like a cool girl. Why I'm pronouncing that way. I don't know even why I'm talking about cool girl. It's kind of childish, but whatever. Or for example, if you want to be like a star student, like from a former perfect excellent student, the first thing that you do, it's not about studying. Like it's about the mindset. You have to consider yourself see yourself first as an excellent student or a star student or like high achieving student. And if you do that, your behavior is just adjust automatically. That's weird. Like I don't know how to explain, but like when I think back about like all the achievements that I had in life, I kind of knew already that I'm gonna achieve that. Uh, but anyway, or like when I was looking for a job, like I think I got a job, like when I was in my master's, I was one of the first. Maybe I wasn't even the first, but definitely one of the first people in my course who got a job, and like it was like an amazing job offer. But the funny thing is that I just knew that I'm gonna get it. And I even had like a timeline in my head. Like I remember I was talking to my brother, and I said to him, and I said to like my parents and everyone, I'm gonna get a job offer by New Year, because I'm gonna sacrifice like my time and extracurriculars and like hanging out with people, because I'm gonna look for a job. But on the second term, my specialism modules would start, like my elective modules were start, and I was very excited about my elective, so I really actually wanted to study them. So I was like, that's why by New Year's I have to have a job offer signed, because um after New Year, I actually want to study. I actually want to be focused on my lectures. I actually want to be engaged with the class and everything, right? That's why I need a job offer by New Year. And I was like so positive that I'm gonna get it. And a lot of people were like, no, but like, and it was the funny thing that it was a year of COVID, and a lot of firms stopped hiring at the time. So like half of the vacancies were either closed, or they said they're gonna open only on New Year, like after New Year, and like the interview is gonna be held in March only. And I was like, nope, I don't care. I'm getting an offer by New Year because I want to study. Such a nerdy thing to say, right? But like honestly, that was my thinking. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get an offer this winter. So yeah, I'm just gonna do that. I was so confident. I was so positive. Like literally, there was no guarantee, right? And the funny thing, another thing is that usually you have to have like internships or like other job experiences before getting a job, and I didn't have it. Like guys, when I think about it, like honestly, okay, I was talking about my hair, but like let's talk about manifestation, right? Like you just have to be so confident that you're gonna get it, and you're gonna get it. And like when you're so confident that you kind of gonna get it, like you just show up to places and behave in a way that you already have it, and you don't have any doubt in your thought, and then you're getting it. But when you're getting it, you're like, yeah, that's, I planned to do that, right? So basically I did get a job offer by, not by New Year. I think it was first week of January. Yeah, a little bit adjusted, but I just was so positive that I'm gonna get it. Oh my god. So I think I lost my lighting. No. Anyway, if my lights go off, I don't care. So what was I talking about? So I was talking about the fact that before you want to get something, you have to step into identity of getting something, right? And this fact proved itself so many times in my life without me even realizing it, right? So when I was in school, I was like A-star student, top student, the best student in the whole school, right? But the funny thing that my mom remembered that I didn't just become a great student. When I went to the first grade, I asked my mom, what's the highest achievement that you can get in school? And she told me it's called, she can get a gold medal. So basically in Kazakhstan, you can get a gold medal. It's called Altın Bilgi. And you get it if you have straight A's on all the subjects throughout the whole 11 years of studying. So I told my mom, I'm gonna get it. No, I didn't say that. I actually painted a picture with a pedestal, and I put myself on the first place, and um, with like a golden medal, Altın Bilgi, on myself, and I said, I'm gonna get a gold medal award for being the best student when I was 7, guys. Not even 7, because I was 6 when I started school. Like I wasn't even 7. And I did it. I did not only achieve that, I actually got 3 gold medals. Because after elementary school, I happened to switch schools, and I started to go to like a like Russian Kazakh school. So it was a school where you would actually study 2 high secondary school programs, and you would get 2 diplomas from like Kazakh school and Russian high school, and you would take 2 national exams. And I don't know why. I think this school was very popular among like children of like, you know, embassy workers, stuff like that. But it was just a very good like school academically. So that's why like my mom sent us to that. And because I was studying there when I graduated, mind you, I knew that I'm gonna move to the UK. I already had an offer from like a program, like foundation program where I was gonna study. So I didn't even have to take a national exam because at the time it was like if you knew that you gonna study abroad, you could get an exemption and you could just pass a normal like school exam just to get your diploma, but you would only get like a golden medal if you pass a national exam and it's harder. And I still decided to do that because I wanted like a golden medal. Like the one thing because I was like, yeah, I was working for that my whole life. Even if I'm going abroad, I still want my gold fucking medal, right? So I took this national exam in Kazakhstan. I also took a national exam in Russia because I was studying two programs. Russia also has a national exam, a golden medal award for like excellence in studying. So I was like, well, I might as well get the second medal. But I also got a third medal because our school was like a branch of a school in Moscow. And at that year, like to all the students who are graduating like from Moscow schools, from schools which are based in Moscow, they would get a special like Moscow uh, golden medal award. So basically, I ended up with three medals. Okay, guys, which I manifested when I was like 6 or something. And my mom would laugh that I just basically decided to cover all of my siblings because like there's three of us. I have an older brother and younger sister, and she's like, yeah, she just got a medal for each, so they don't have to now. Yeah, but anyway, what I'm talking about is that it's not that I studied well. It's not that I was. It's not that I became an excellent student. When I just started my school, I already knew that I am an excellent student, you know? And like in this mindset, you don't question it. You kind of thinking, well, obviously I'm doing this and that, not to become, but because I already am, you know? And like this is something that you have to understand to achieve anything in your life. Like you don't want to become something. You have to be it. Like, does it make sense? Honestly, like I don't talk about that much, but like that's the truth. That this is the kind of conversations that I would have in confidence with like my closest one when we talk about like spirituality or like the secrets of achieving like anything like success, whatever. So, um, even when I changed my schools, so I went to elementary school, which was the same school. So it was interesting because my elementary school was kind of continuation of my kindergarten. So it was like a small private elementary school slash kindergarten. So by the time I started my elementary school, everyone would already know me, right? But then I changed schools when I started my secondary school, and I went to a whole new school. Gosh, uh, and the funny thing that they already had their top students, their like pet students, whatever, and they didn't want to. So I would be like the person that I would come to class and I would like raise my hand to try to answer the question. They wouldn't even ask me. They would ask another students. Like that the thing. Teachers for some reason they would ask students who they think knew the answer, and because they had their top students already, no one would ask me. And I was like Hermione, like, hey, I'm here on like first row, and no one would ask me a question. And I would come home so frustrated. I'm like, Mom, I knew all the fucking answers. Like, no one is asking me. And she was like, don't worry. You know who you are. You know what you know. Just keep like doing what you're doing, keep raising your hand, one day they will ask and you will answer correctly. And they will ask next time, next time, and next time, and they will know that there is no one smarter than you are. Oh my god, my mom was raising a little narcissist. Anyways, so that's what you're doing, right? Like I'm just trying, like it's mumbling and it doesn't have any I guess like it's not scripted, right? What I'm telling you, like a freestyle. But what I'm trying to say is that I was tr- I was continuing raising my hand because I wasn't trying to prove that I'm great. I already knew that I'm great, that I'm smart, that I knew the answer. So I was just doing what I'm doing because it was natural. And every time you doubt it, right? Like you just continue doing what you're doing because you're not trying to become this person. You are already this person. So there is no scenario where you're not doing that, right? Because that's who you are. And finally everyone will accept that, and that's what happened to me like when I was in school, right? Like everyone just accepted. Essentially by like the end of the first term I became the best student. Everyone knew me. Like I was again in my comfort zone of being like great. Anyway, I hope like you will understand me correctly, right? Because people would ask me often like, oh, how do you do this, how do you do that? I'm not trying to, like, I just decide that I am, and that I'm going through life in a certain way. Same thing happened when I moved to London. Um, I I started. Um, so usually in the UK you do A levels, which is 2 years, but sometimes for international students they don't do A level. They do a 1 year foundation program, after which you can go straight to university, right? So I came to the UK when I was 17 to do my foundation program, and basically you apply for like 5 universities through UCAS, and I think I chose like all 5 like top universities, and all of them were based in London. And I came to study in London, and I knew that I wanted to stay in London and study in uni in London, etc., etc. And I was talking to my tutor. Um, I was talking to my tutor, and she saw my options. So basically, we would have like these weekly sessions where we would like bring our motivational letters, personal statements, etc., etc. And she looked at my options. She was like, "You are applying for all London universities." I was like, "Yeah, I know." And then she said, "Do you understand how competitive they are? Do you understand that top students from all over the world are coming here to get into those universities in London? Like, best of the best, from the best schools, best preparedness, right? Like, from China, from India, like, top students from those countries are coming, right?" So, and I guess for her, like, Kazakhstan was like, what it was, right? Um, and she told me, like, do you understand how competitive it is? And maybe, and she told me that. And mind you, like, my tutor was our economics tutor, and she was the scariest woman on the course. Like, everyone was scared of her because she was, like, very, very strict, very, very demanding. Um, and she was my tutor, and she literally said to me, maybe you were the best in your country, in your school, but now you're in London where like all the best students from all over the world are coming and competing for those places in universities. So I would advise you to get some safety options. Don't apply to like 5 top universities, like, or 5 London universities. Get some backup options. But for me, I was like so confident in myself. Like now I was thinking, gosh, Fariza, like I'm so proud of you, like thinking back. She just dared, and I told her, but I know, basically I told her, I know that I want to study in London. I don't want to study anywhere else. So could you please just help me to like polish my essay, make sure that grammar is right, give me some advice, because I'm not changing my choices. Because I know that whenever, like, I didn't even care in which university I was, to be honest. Like I didn't, like people were comparing like the rating, the websites, um, the programs. I just knew that I wanted to study mathematics, and I knew that I wanted to study in London. I knew that I want to end up in London, you know. So um, so I said, yeah, I whichever university accepts me, I'm staying here, right? I'm gonna spend next 3 years here in London. So just please help me to write this essay. She was like, she's crazy, but like I can't change her mind, right? In the end of the day, it was my decision. So she helped me, and yeah, obviously, like I got into university and everything. But you know what? The funny thing happened. The funniest thing is that I actually didn't realize that there are gonna be certain things that, you know, when you're away from home, you are by yourself, and there are certain challenges that you meet. And I became very homesick, and at some point, like I really struggled to finish one assignment on time, on deadline, just because I had this like depressive episode, and I was just postponing because I was really confused with the topic. And I had the thing when I was like started to isolate myself because um, I was just overwhelmed, and I couldn't finish this assignment. And my friends were trying to reach out to me. I was like, no, 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 I'm okay. Like, I'm okay. But I really wasn't. So, and this was like a compulsory assignment on economics. um, and like, if you don't submit it, you just fail the course. And if you fail, you cannot go to uni, right? And I couldn't even start. Like, I was paralyzed, guys. Um, and and two things happened basically. First of all, I get a little bit of tough love from my mom. So basically, I called my mom. I was crying, and I said to her, I think I'm failing. I just want to leave, you know. And she told me, what are you gonna do if you come back? What are you gonna do back here? Are you gonna get married? She was like, what kind of life you gonna have, right? Like, it's on you now. So like, okay. She was like, start this assignment, write whatever you can. I think I had like 2 days left or whatever. Like, she was like, just start with something. So this happened. Um, but also I realized that I'm not gonna finish on time. So I emailed my professor who was my also my tutor, and I said, I don't know what to do. Like I had some like issues. I think I'm gonna submit it late, right after, which was still okay, permissible. But she said that's okay, just submit your assignment, right? And I submitted my assignment late, right? So you would like your mark would be reduced because of that. But there was the other thing that happened. Like after assignment, you were supposed to get the grades, like the mark, and the commentaries, and then you were supposed to have a viva, so a presentation, right, of your topic. Um, but because I submitted it late, I literally submitted it like 2 days before I was supposed to have a viva, and everyone will submit like a week before, like 10 days before. And I told my professor, I understand that you might not have the time to like grade it by the time, or like you would not have time to provide me feedback. I'm fine with that. But literally she took time and she gave me the feedback, and she said, no, I don't want to, like, I'm gonna grade it, and I'm gonna give you feedback so you can prepare. And I was like, what? And can you imagine that she was the toughest? Like, she had the craziest reputation on our course of being so tough, so demanding, so unforgiving. But I think what happened is that because I was rooting for myself from the very beginning, it just makes other people to root for you as well. Like when you're following your own path, you're so freaking determined, you know what you're doing, you're already living this life without asking anyone. People can doubt you for a second, but then they're actually starting to root for you, and they're like, I want to see where this girl is going to end up, and like I want to contribute to her thing, right? Because she seems interesting. And they see this spirit in you, this fire, and they actually want to collaborate. They want to be part of this journey. So I was in shock that the toughest professor, and also I was a foreigner. So in my home country, I would assume that sometimes you can like be in a good relationship, with teachers, and they can like support you, like you're kind of aware of those stuff. But I moved to a foreign country. I was thinking that, Europe, like you don't have the same culture. uh I don't know how to, charm my way through life. So like I'm just gonna study hard, right? And but apparently, like I don't think that people, it's not that I didn't think that people support you here, but I just didn't think about those stuff. I was like, I'm just doing my thing, right? Without relying on those external circumstances. Um, so that's what happened. Guys, I think I was supposed to talk about my year, right? But I just jumped in a whole another area. But basically, what I'm trying to say is that if you want to achieve anything in life, you cannot wait for proof that it's possible. You have to be living proof that it's possible. You have to know in yourself, first and foremost, that you're gonna do that. And then, only then, you can do your best and do everything in your possibility to achieve that. Because if you're gonna doubt it, you will just not make the whole effort. Because you're gonna spend your energy doubting yourself. But if you don't doubt, if you know already, it's like knowing a spoiler, It's like, I know how this movie is gonna end. You may argue with me, you may try to persuade me that it's not like that, but I know. So like just watch me, right? I'm gonna do that. So anyway, I think I started from like identity shift, right? So it's kind of was like a constant confirmation throughout my whole life that sometimes you just know that you can do that. You don't even know how you're gonna do that. You can also be like absolutely naive and delusional and like believe in yourself more than all the statistics, all the other people, all the circumstances, all the common sense, right? But the funny thing that when you do that, for some reason all the circumstances start to adjust to you and you get those opportunities. And even people who are against you, they start to root for you because they start to believe in you, They start to think, yeah, this girl is gonna make it actually because she believes in herself and she's very persuasive, right? So why not, Liz? I want to be part of her journey, and like you're very grateful for that. So I think that's why we started with the hair, right? I think that's why the hair thing works. Um, and basically, when I cut my hair, I started to feel very, very differently. And I think that my personality changed. Not changed, but started to open up in a different way, I feel like. Um, but I guess like this episode is already 53 minutes. Oh my god, like I talk for so much. So maybe next episode I'm gonna actually tell you what happened this year and like which lessons I learned, um and what I want to share with you. So I wasn't planning to talk about manifestation or like identity and stuff like that, but actually I think it's a good topic, and I'm glad I shared that with you. So if you ever wondered, like sometimes my friends ask me, or like just people ask me like, how did you do this, how did you do that, how do you do that, it's like that's basically the secret, right? You just know it in yourself. You know it before anyone knows. um, you know it way, way before. You just know it in your heart. You know who you are. um, and I would say never ever forget who you are. Remember who you are, where you're coming from. Remember your values. Remember what you're capable of. And never, never, never allow other people, other people's opinion of you change your opinion about yourself. And never, never allow disgusting voice of doubt to get to you, to your heart, to your soul, just because other people are not confident in themselves or insecure or see the world as some sort of constant war, or like that they have to adjust all the time, and they think that their opportunities and possibilities are limited. Do not listen to them. Like, that's their reality, but never allow others people's reality to affect your reality, to affect your dreams, to affect your understanding and inner knowledge of what you're capable of. Because you know that. If you know that deeply in your heart, that's all that matters. You know, and you are right. You are the only one who is right. Everyone is wrong. Even if the majority is gonna tell you that you're wrong, they are wrong, you are right. Just because like many people say something, it doesn't mean that's true. Okay? I think like history showed it so many times. Sometimes you just need only one person to know the truth, one person to have a vision, to change the whole world, to change the whole reality, and start with yourself, right? Like just know that. Know that before everyone knows. Know it before you have a physical confirmation of anything. Know that before people start to like acknowledge you. You just have to know yourself and never, ever, 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 ever forget who you are. Um, yeah, I guess that's how I'm gonna wrap up this episode. Again, for the freestyle, I didn't know that I'm gonna talk about that, but I think it was amazing. So I hope it's been something for you. Um, if you were curious, or if you want to know about mindset, or if you just wanted to listen to me chatting, okay. So I'll see you next episode. Maybe I'm gonna record another one tomorrow before New Year, right? Um, or maybe on a New Year day, so that I actually talk about more about 2023. But yeah, it's 10 p.m. It's almost 11 p.m. So I'm gonna go to sleep and in my bed. Good night.